There is developing news this morning out of the Middle East. The political leader of Hamas was killed in a strike in Iran. The group made the announcement late last night, calling the death of Ismail Haniyeh an assassination. Hamas is now blaming Israel for that attack, but Israel has yet to comment on it. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says he is aware of the reports, but has no other information to provide. According to Iranian state media, Haniyeh was killed in Tehran shortly after attending the inauguration of Iran's new president. He had been leading political operations for Hamas from exile in Qatar and was a key figure in the ceasefire negotiations with Israel. Meanwhile, Israel says it has killed a top Hezbollah commander in Lebanon. Israeli forces launched an airstrike in a densely populated suburb near Beirut yesterday. According to Lebanon's public health ministry, a woman and 2 children were also killed in the attack. At least 74 others were wounded. Israeli officials say the Hezbollah commander who died was a close advisor to the Iran-backed group's leader. Israel believes the commander was responsible for the attack over the weekend in the Israeli-controlled Golan Heights that killed 12 children and teenagers. Hezbollah, however, has denied responsibility. Let's bring in NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley. He's live in Beirut. Matt, what more are we learning about the death, first of all, of the Hamas leader?
Well, we're hearing that this is, going to have a major impact on these ongoing negotiations that were already kind of moribund to begin with. But we just heard from the Prime Minister of Qatar saying, how can we continue these negotiations if Israel keeps assassinating the negotiators? And this Prime Minister, of course, is one of the main intermediaries between Hamas and the Israelis, working with the United States and with the Egyptians, trying to come up with some sort of negotiated truce or bringing some measure of peace to the Gaza Strip that would also free those remaining hostages held inside the Gaza Strip, those Israeli hostages. So that is the immediate impact that we're going to be seeing. But really, from now on, we're also hearing the Iranians saying that they are going to be retaliating for this. Now, in the past, we've seen that Iranian retaliation has been quite measured, almost more symbolic than practical. But at the same time, this is a major escalation. And when you take these 2 twin assassinations together, this looks like a very, very destabilizing factor. And in just the past 24 hours, really, this region has changed dramatically. Now there's much more pessimism in an already pessimistic environment. This situation here in Beirut, this is very worrying because there were some outstanding questions. Are the Israelis done retaliating for that attack in the Golan Heights on that soccer field that, as you just mentioned, killed a dozen children and teenagers? It looks as though they might be finished, but Hezbollah isn't finished. Now the Iranians aren't finished. Hamas also has reasons to retaliate. So now we're seeing an increase in the anger, even as American diplomats are trying their best to negotiate some sort of peace. This sets everything back in the region by days or weeks. It is a very, very difficult situation, and one that, the Israelis are going to have to acknowledge they have instigated what looks like an interjected more and more instability into a situation that was already deeply unstable. It's going to be very, very difficult to recover from this. And I have no doubt that American diplomats are going to be trying to tamp down the possibility of a region-wide war. And I've been saying this for months now. But this situation right now is the closest that the entire region has come to a region-wide war in recent memory. Guys?
Matt, talk about the Israeli position, though, because Israel is stretched thin. Their economy is stretched thin with so many young people now fighting already against Hamas in Gaza. Can they really take on a northern front like this in Lebanon?
And this is a matter of much speculation. A lot of ink has been spilled on this very topic, Katie. It's a really important issue. Is Israel's military, which was humiliated on October 7th, capable of opening up in full another front on its northern border with an enemy that would dwarf the power of Hamas in the Gaza Strip? Hezbollah, as we know, really behaves more like a state within a state, and it really behaves more like an army than a militia. This is a very rigid hierarchy group that has, officers. It has international connections. It is a political force here in Lebanon. It has ministers in the government. Its operatives are able to travel around the world, unlike those who are confined, Hamas officers who are confined to the Gaza Strip. So they are able to gather support. This means that Israel is continuing to instigate more and more anger from Hezbollah and now from Iran Hamas. Iran, by the way, is the main patron for both Hamas and Hezbollah. So these conflicts are very much intertwined, and this is why this is so incredibly dangerous and why it makes the Israeli claims that they're trying to tamp down the situation, their repeated claims that they don't want war over the northern border, it makes it harder to believe, and it will certainly make it harder to believe for a lot of their antagonists here in the Middle East who are right up on the border with them. It looks as though Iran is planning some sort of retaliation. That could very well happen through its major proxies, its primary cat's paw right here in Lebanon, Hezbollah, which already, in just the past 24 hours, has a very new grievance to add against Israel. So again, an inflammatory set of double-barreled assassinations that has set this region already on edge right up to the brink of war. Guys.
A lot of fast-moving and destabilizing developments in the region, to be sure. NBC's Matt Bradley live for us in Beirut. Matt, thank you so very much. And